And welcome back on this Friday, this day of preparation, as we continue to look at some of the stories that Jesus told. Jesus was a great storyteller. In fact, it says in one of the Gospels that he didn't teach anybody anything except by telling stories. And can you imagine sitting at the feet of Jesus and just listening to him tell stories? We're going to be doing that for all of eternity, I hope and I believe. Our next parable is about the sheep and the goats. And I got to tell you, this always brings back a story for me, because when I was first studying at Pacific Union College for the ministry, I was a brand new Adventist. In fact, I wasn't even a baptized member when I got started there. I was in Dr. Leslie Harding's class on Daniel and Revelation. I started out in that class looking up Daniel and Revelation in the table of contents because I didn't even know where they were. But I was a senior theology major. God was good and merciful to me. But during that time, Dr. Harding would have us write papers. And he would give us a question and say, all right, by the time you come back next class period, I want you to have a paper for me. I want it to have the proper footnotes and do what you know I need you to do. When we would come back to class after that, he would have them all graded and prepared. And he would always come out with 2 stacks of papers, one in each hand. And he would say, behold the sheep, behold the goats. And I don't know, wondering and hoping for what actual grade I might get. I just knew I wanted to be among the sheep. So Jesus tells this parable about when the Son of Man comes again. We find it in Matthew 25 and beginning with verse 31. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the angels with him, he will sit on his throne in heavenly glory, and all the nations will be gathered before him. And he will separate the people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will put the sheep on his right and the goats on his left. You know, we can read into that so much, and the sheep wanted to know, what did we do? He said, you fed me, you clothed me, you took care of me when I was in prison, when I was discouraged, you were just there for me. And they said, when did we do that for you? He says, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these your brothers or sisters, it was like you were doing it for me. And to the goats, he says, because you never did these things for me. And they say, when did we ever refuse to do it for you? And he says, inasmuch as you did not reach out to the least of these, your brothers and sisters, it was like you were not doing it for me. We need to take care of each other, not just the ones that we're attracted to, not just the ones that we like, not just the ones that we're friends with, not just the ones who are members of our church and our congregation, but to the least of these, our brothers and sisters. He said, I want you to reach out to them. I told you Wednesday that today was a special day for me, and let me tell you why. In my wife's eyes, I want to be a sheep and not a goat as well. And today, Friday, May 15, is our 49th wedding anniversary. And while you are watching this, we are in our RV over by Gray Eagle, and we are camping out for a couple of weeks. We'll still be in touch, but we're spending some time over there celebrating 49 years of marriage. I'm a lucky man. In my wife's eyes, I always want to be among the sheep. In God's eyes, I want to be even more among the sheep. And so I will seek ways to minister to him by reaching out to the least of these, my brothers and sisters. May God bless you as we welcome the Sabbath, and I look forward to seeing you next week.